Welcome to today's episode of the ISO on the Gonzaga Nation Media Network. As always, with the Gonzaga game, we preview it with an opposing coach. Today's assistant coach of the Kentucky Wildcats. Yes, those Kentucky Wildcats that are coming to Spokane. Orlando Antigua, one of the great assistant coaches in all of college basketball. Coach, thanks for joining.
Appreciate you, Dan. I love the name of the podcast, the ISO.
Well, it's
like you having them putting them out on the island, having to try to guard you.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit harder to say pick and roll because the casual fan might not understand it. But appreciate the feedback, and our producers will absolutely clip that up because that'll be a great little soundbite. Appreciate the love back.
No doubt.
So let's get right into the Kentucky Wildcats Gonzaga Bulldog matchup. It is it's something that I think a lot of big-time college basketball fans have wanted to see for some time. I love the fact that it's not just a home and home. It's actually a 6-year series. When you and the staff at Kentucky, led by Coach Calipari, kind of put this all together, what were the big thoughts behind it?
Cal and Coach Few are longtime buddies and friends, and this is something that they have been discussing for some time now. It goes back to when even I was with Cal at Memphis, and they put together the series of Memphis and Gonzaga. They just, they've got a real appreciation for one another as coaches, as Hall of Fame coaches, as guys have done. Have had a lot of success in this business for a lot of years and have represented the programs well, and with two great fan bases that Coach was wanting to play a tough competitive schedule in the preseason, and what a better team to play than the Zags. Obviously, it helps both programs, and both programs would challenge each other year in and year out, and so it makes for great basketball for the basketball fans and for each program.
So you've coached at Kentucky, you've been at Memphis, you're back at Kentucky, you've been a head coach yourself for a number of years. But when you've been at Kentucky in particular, you've recruited McDonald's All-Americans time and time again. I mean, you look at the list of McDonald's All-Americans that have gone to Lexington and then gone to the NBA. It's amazing. Gonzaga's finally been able to break through and get some of those type players. When you're recruiting at Kentucky, and you kind of have the pick of who you want, what are some of the big things you look for that are going to fit your guys' program?
Well, one of the things that we always look for is can they fit our culture? Are they long, athletic? Can they play multiple positions? Obviously the game has continued to evolve where you have basketball players out on the court where guys can be 6'9", 6'10", but they can handle the ball, shoot the ball, pass the ball. And so, we strive every year to try to put together a team of guys that are considered basketball players. They understand that when they come to Kentucky, they're going to have to sacrifice for one another. No one's going to average 30 points a game at Kentucky. Now, they can have games where they go and score 30. But, on any given night, any one of our guys has the potential to go out and have a big night. And they got to come in understanding that that's part of what you sign up for when you come to Kentucky. And so most of our guys understand that, and obviously we do a good job of communicating that and trying to identify that in the recruiting process, and it's led to us being able to have a lot of success.
This game is probably already being billed, and it will be billed tomorrow when the game is played as a matchup of bigs with Timmy and Oscar Shubway. Timmy's a 4-year guy at Gonzaga. Shubway came to you guys through the transfer portal. What was it about Shubway that you guys liked in the transfer portal when he left West Virginia? And talk a little bit about his development and how just dominant he is, especially in the class.
Well, Oscar was a guy that obviously came to Kentucky out of the portal, but even prior to that was recruited to Kentucky previously to him going to West Virginia. And, the things that we got a chance to see by the way, I wasn't on the staff when they recruited him at Kentucky. I was at Illinois. And I also was trying to recruit both he and Andrew at Illinois. So I know both of them really well, and got a chance to spend some time with both of them in the Timmy family. And so just great, talented kids that makes for a fun matchup. Oscar, when he got to West Virginia, did a lot of nice things. I think didn't have the opportunities that he wanted, and got a chance to expand his game a little bit, play a little differently when he got to Kentucky, and we've been able to help him with that, expanding his game, his range, helping him become a more rounded basketball player besides just being a phenomenal rebounder.
You mentioned relationships with the Timmy family while you were recruiting at Illinois, and Shubway, you guys recruited before he started at West Virginia. There's another connection that you have to Gonzaga, just like Coach Q and Coach Calipari have. You were on staff at Illinois with actually a good friend of mine from my time of playing, is Stephen Gentry. Give us a little bit about the basketball mind of Stephen Gentry, and then the second part of that question, I guess you can answer first, is his nickname was Shaggy back when he was in college. Did you ever know that? Did you call him Shaggy?
I wish I had known that. But yeah, and another link to it was obviously another kid that wound up at Gonzaga from Kentucky that I helped recruit was Kyle Wilshire, who was a phenomenal human being and did a lot of good things with us, and obviously did a lot of good things with the Zags. But yeah, Coach Gentry and I were on the staff together at Illinois, and during the time that he wound up coming back to Gonzaga, actually is when I got the opportunity to come back to Kentucky. So I know him well. Phenomenal young coach, great basketball mind. I did not know that his name was Shaggy, because that would have been something those players really would have enjoyed. Gent is he's a stickler. He's very detailed. He's an unbelievable worker. Can be a little bit uptight at times. Dan, would you say could that be an accent?
Yeah, you're describing him to a T.
So I think guys knowing that he had a nickname of Shaggy would have taken a little bit off of his edge.
That's awesome. I love the scouting report on him as a coach. I think when he gets a chance, maybe someday he will be a great head coach. But he's a tremendous addition to the staff at GU. I know you guys are busy. I've got one last question. Everybody knows about Oscar Shubway. People that listen to this pod, obviously know Gonzaga's program, but you guys are loaded at other positions. Xavier Wheeler is a quick lefty undersized guard who does a lot of good things. CJ Frederick's a nice wing. And then I've seen clips of your young guy, Cason Wallace, as it being an explosive, high potential player. Give us a little bit about your roster and how you typically try to play.
Yeah, I mean, Xavier is a returning Bob Cousy Award finalist. Obviously, he missed a couple of games when he was hurt earlier on, but now he's back to full speed and does an unbelievable job of being the tip of our spear in terms of our defense, and his quickness and his tenacity and his leadership are things that are huge and impact our team in a big way. And then obviously Cason is a young, athletic, tough, two-way player that is learning a lot from Xavier and CJ. Those guys are veterans. CJ had played at Iowa, and then going through about a year and a half where he didn't get a chance to play, but now he's back out there. He's healthy. He's got in great shape and doing a lot of positive things. And then, obviously Jacob Toppin is another guy that we got through the portal, who's part of the group of guys that we have that are unlike many of Cal's other teams. We're not as young, and we've been able to do that through the portal. So we've gotten a little more experience, a little older, and that's been great to be able to coach guys where you just having to plug in. You don't have to teach everything, and then just allow our freshmen just to go ahead and follow suit with those older guys and follow their lead and make the learning process and the learning curve a lot easier.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I appreciate the time. I'm looking forward to it. I will be watching the game with my two boys, and it's awesome that Kentucky and Gonzaga.
Who you rooting for, Dan?
I'm gonna root for Kentucky in every game but one this year.
There you go.
So again, I appreciate the time. Best of luck in every other game but tomorrow.
I appreciate that.
I'm glad you guys traveled safe and enjoy Spokane. Have a great game tomorrow and travel safe back to Lexington. I've had a chance to call a game back there for Westwood One Radio, and it is a one-of-a-kind college basketball atmosphere.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the game tomorrow. I know it's going to be a great environment, and just excited to be a part of this game. So I appreciate the time, brother.